Hello, everyone. This is Wyland with the FPV podcast. Before we actually get into the content, I just want to let you know that we're going to be putting on some really interesting drone racing events this year. One of them is going to be at a NASCAR track that's going to be at the Kentucky Speedway. So if you're interested in some more information, please go to our website, atdroneracing.com, or if you Google search AT Drone Racing, definitely join the Facebook group. Whether you're a pilot or somebody who just likes to watch drone racing, we're going to have something for everyone. Keep an eye out for more information. As the months go by, we're going to be posting a lot of content based around our drone racing events. Thank you so much for listening, and on to the podcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's FPV podcast. This week, we get to talk to somebody that works for EMAX, one of the most well-known RC companies in the world. Plus, he does a lot of flying, he does a lot of social media work, so it would be really interesting to catch up with him. But before we talk to him, Elvin, say hello.
Hello, everybody. Get your stuff at Heli Direct, Get them EMAX motors at Heli Direct. Get that baby hawk. Y'all know y'all want one. Just go get it. Shut up.
That is a way to introduce yourself by asking everybody to shut up. You're a trip. Brandon, please introduce yourself.
Hello, guys. My name is Brandon. I'm not as mean as Elvin. I won't bully you into buying anything. But I work for EMAX USA. We're in Southern California. You guys invited me onto the show, so I thought I'd come say hi and introduce myself.
Cool. And I have already given him a new nickname. We already have, the formerly known as Tattoo Miguel, so now he's known as EMAX Brandon. That's what we're going to call him from now on. He's EMAX Brandon.
No, don't say that. No, don't say that.
Okay.
E-branded.
That's right. He's been E-branded. No. So, Brandon, tell us a little bit about yourself. What have you been doing lately?
All right. So, I'm 21 years old. I'm in Southern California. EMAX USA office is also out of Southern California in the city of Brea. So for the past couple months, I've been working here at the office in Southern California, just learning everything there is to know about the company, getting to know all my coworkers, and doing our best to bring you guys the best product that we possibly. That's mostly what I've been up to.
Yeah, cool. So now, before you worked with EMAX, we were talking, in the background, you worked for Unique, which is, a company known for its aerial photography drones. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I used to work at Unique in the customer service department. For those of you that don't know, Unique USA is also based out of Southern California. So I have some interesting stories from there. I worked there for close to a year before I started coming to work for EMAX. Learned a lot about the industry as far as how it goes to have product in Best Buy, Amazon, all kinds of things like that, and dealing with the customer base as far as whether they have issues, how to deal with those issues. It was also my first job in an office, so learned about the whole office etiquette kind of feel.
There we go.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
So, before we get into some cool stories, because I want to hear the stories, man. I always want to hear stories. What was it like to actually work for EMAX? Was it really... Because, Unique isn't, one of the well-known brands, right? DJI is probably the most well-known brand when it comes to aerial photography rigs. Was it you're always scrapping to get it into stores? Or was it everybody knew who you were and it was really easy to move around as a company?
As far as Unique, I think they had their whole distribution set up pretty much in place. It was in stock at Best Buy and stock at Fry's. They have their big dealers that distribute all these, also deals with Horizon Hobby, things like that. So they had no problem getting the product out there, I would say. If anything, the only problem they had is when it comes to new products, like a lot of companies, it takes a little bit longer than expected to get it out the door. So I wouldn't say they had any kind of issues like that.
Okay, cool. So did the customers that you service, were they already very knowledgeable about these multi-rotors, these drones, or did you constantly get new people answering really basic questions?
I would say about 98% of the time it was new people answering basic questions. Only because they sell them in Best Buy or Fry's. Sometimes there's deals like the holidays, especially. You walk in there, this Q500, so 500 millimeter size quadcopter, $500. Why not? I want to fly a drone. So that's a pretty big first drone too. So yeah, most of the calls were that, like guys saying, I haven't even turned the motors on yet. And they would come call us asking questions. Everything's in the manual, but they want to hear you say it.
Right.
Oh, that does suck because like you're just spending a whole lot of time basically answering what's in the manual. Was that frustrating for you, or did you actually kind of enjoy just talking to new people every single time?
It depends on the person. So the way I always went about it is you set the attitude of the conversation. So if I came on there positive, which I always try to be, the person I'm talking to would normally be pretty positive. And I didn't mind it at all because one thing I like, is helping people. So when I help them work through whatever problem they're having and get it figured out, and the excitement that they have, like, oh, I get to fly this thing, that means a lot to me, to be honest. So I didn't really get frustrated too often.
Pretty cool. Now, how many people called you because they broke it?
A lot. I mean, to give you an idea, including like phone call and email, I was talking to like over 150 people a day just by myself. So yeah, a lot of people broke it. I crashed into my house. I crashed into my car. I crashed into this tree. Crashed into that building. I turned the motors off and it fell from the sky 100 feet. Crazy stuff. Because the motor on their controller, the buttons for the camera and photo are just buttons, the same kind of button to turn on and off the motors. So there's guys that would hold it down trying to take a video and turn it off and it'd fall out of the sky. I've had that multiple times, I swear to God.
Oh my gosh, that sucks. Yeah, to have it jump out of the sky when you first have it out. Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, it's some hardcore stuff, man.
Ouch. Okay, tell us some good stories. We want to hear some good stories. You got some good stories for us?
Well, I had a guy. So the Typhoon H, when it first came out, was about like $1,300. So I did have a guy one time who called me and said that he lost his new drone that he bought that day in a lake by his house. And he was laughing, and I'm like, how is this guy laughing? That's a lot of money to lose. And he told me it's gone. And he told me that I can't even be mad by this because I was flying over the lake and there's ducks in the lake. And he told me that a duck flew up and knocked it out of the sky into the water because he was hovering above the water, but just barely. So I had stories like that. Just crazy stories, so off the wall thing that you would never think. How do you end up doing that with your drone? But now it happens.
Dude, I'd be so scared.
I tried to fish from it. I tried to hunt from it. Crazy stuff. I was rock climbing and had, like the mobile wizard thing on there and having it follow me while I rock climbed. Crazy stuff.
It is crazy stuff. Hey, Elvin, like your neck of the woods is responsible for a lot of drone accidents. Any good stories from your neck of the woods?
I know that there's the falls right by my house, Willamette Falls, and I can tell you I know of at least 2 or 3 Q500s that have fallen in there because there's over the falls, right? They run power across the falls, right? For for the lights, right? And people don't see them, when they're flying. So they're just flying along, and all of a sudden, ding, and the last video is a wire. That's all you see is the wire.
The wire.
I've heard stories like that too. Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know, but it's a great ship. I mean, it flew well. It's just if you wasn't doing what you were supposed to, like reading the manual and following instructions and doing the safety checks and all that.
Yeah, the manual was the worst part. So, like, I'm sure as you know, like Unique, DJI, they all have like smart mode or headless mode, where if you're flying like an angle, no matter which way you hit the stick, it's going to go that way. Whereas if you were in manual mode, if you're facing yourself, right is left, left is right, that kind of deal. So that was a big problem too. For example, I had a guy who said he bought a Q500. He was flying it on the beach, and he was with his cousin or something that has a lot of DJIs. That's what he told me. He has like 6 DJI quadcopters. And he said that he was flying it in the manual mode, and it was facing him, and he kept pulling back on the stick so that it would go towards him, but he kept flying further away. So he said he saw himself getting smaller, and then he called saying, I don't know what happened. It messed up on me. And I was like, you just told me what happened. You were trying to pull it into you, but it was actually pulling it away from you. So all kinds of crazy stuff like that. But yeah, Long story short, if anyone's listening, read the manual. Is all you
Oh.
got to do, and you'll be fine.
RTA.
I don't think I can work for customer service in a drone shop for too long. I think I would get too frustrated and try to hang myself.
Yeah,
Uh,
well, it was good overall. The Unique's a great company. I would say the main thing is, say for example, someone has an issue with their phone bill, and you call your customer service, and you're mad about like a $60 bill. So imagine how they call, and when it's a $1,300, $1,500, what have you drone,
Right.
it's on a whole nother level. But you just got to know how to talk to them, and it's all good. To be honest, just get it figured out.
If you're concerned, I mean, I had an issue a couple of days ago, so like the person behind the counter was concerned, and it just kept me copacetic. You know what I mean? If the guy would have shown no remorse, no care, I probably would have been on the other side of the fence. But
Yeah.
in the end, it worked out. He was like, "Hey, man, I'm sorry. We'll give you a credit or whatever it was." That's what it was. It was like they turned some stuff off my TV, man.
All right. So, what was your biggest takeaway working at Unique? What did you learn the most before moving on?
I would honestly say, obviously, being in customer service is how to talk people, how to talk to people, how to make them happy. Like I said, you create the tone of a conversation. So just being able to present myself in a conversation in a way that I know is going to be positive. I would say that's probably what helped me the most.
Cool. Actually, that's a really good takeaway. Yeah, a lot of people come out of customer service angry, and you're not one of them. So that's got to be a good sign.
Yeah.
No, I got things done there. Yeah, I did not come out angry at all. I would say I learned a lot. To be
Pretty
honest.
cool. So, after getting out of Unique, how did you get into mini quads?
Well, I flew mini quads while I was still working at Unique. So I flew mini quads actually before I was working at Unique.
Oh, okay.
So like a lot of people, I was on YouTube one day and actually came across an FPV video, but it was not the one that everyone says. It was not the racing in the trees in France. I forget who it was. I'm pretty sure it was a Sharpoo video that I saw. And I thought to myself, like, wow, I got to get into this. And then I did the worst mistake of my life. Instead of going and trying to build a mini quad and buying all the parts and learning how to solder, I was kind of nervous to learn all that. So I bought a Phantom. And I actually bought the FC40. Do you guys know that one?
That was the original, wasn't it? Without the gimbals and everything?
No, it didn't have
one.
like the gimbals like they do now, but it had like a little Wi-Fi camera.
Right.
And it wouldn't move around by any kind of gimbal control. It was just kind of like a fixed position on some rubber dampeners.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
yes.
So that was my first one, a Phantom FC40. And I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I opened it. I was like, oh, it's white. It looks like my iPhone when I opened it and all kinds of stuff. It connects to my phone. I could take pictures. I could take video. And then I go out to fly it, and it sucks. Like, the Wi-Fi downlink, the range was terrible. The video was so laggy. And then I'm still watching these, FPV videos of like Steel, Schizo, Sharpoo, all those guys, and I'm loving it. Wishing I was part of that. And here I am at the park flying my FC40, looking at my iPhone 5, like trying to navigate through the trees, yelling at people, stay away, stay away. It was really bad.
Don't knock it out.
Not good.
That's
Okay, yeah. So I had that, and then I just went online. Get FPV was a website I knew about. Watching Sharpoo videos. That's the only name I knew. So I went and bought, Sharpoo setup. I got the QAV 250 with basically the Lumineer kit of the QAV 250. So their ESCs and their motors, CC3D, and that was my first quadcopter.
Yeah, I think a lot of people's first quads came from Get FPV because Sharpoo was, sponsored by them. And hey, I had my 250, so it wasn't actually a bad quad, to be honest with you. Like back in the day, it flew pretty well, and they had a pretty nice setup, pretty muchly set up for you. All you had to do is follow instructions, and you were good to go.
Yeah.
So the Phantom was a mistake. I would say for my first mini quad, the only mistake I made is, I don't know if you guys are familiar, but like the Teleporter V3, when you bought them, I don't know if they still do it, but it came with this like camera and transmitter kit.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was like a little gray camera that's totally not like an HS117 as far as mounting and the size of it.
Oh, yeah.
Because the other thing it had is it had like an SD card slot where you could record like 420p or something like that. So that was the only part that I messed up on, but overall it was a pretty good first quad. Bashed it all over the place.
Somebody actually bought that exact setup and then had a hard time mounting it, and we actually ended up, yeah, exactly, that guy right there.
That ugly thing right there. Look
I
at
got
that.
duped too, dude. I got duped too.
And
Some bitch.
And we just double-sided taped that down. That was the easiest way to do that.
Yeah, double-sided tape.
Yeah, this is the only way. It's like, okay, it doesn't fit anything mounting-wise. Let's just stick it down and hopefully it doesn't fly off.
You can't fly with it. You can't fly with it and record nothing.
You know what's funny too is back then I didn't know about the good double-sided tape, like the gray one or the black one, the heavy duty. So I was using the cheap white one that just falls off every time. So imagine how I was like, why won't this camera stay? What is this double-sided tape? It doesn't tape anything. It's terrible.
It doesn't tape anything. Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about because back when you started, all double-sided tape was the same thing. You didn't know, oh, this one actually can hold 20 pounds, and that's what you need because when you hit the ground.
Which one's the cheapest one? I need this one. This is the cheapest one. That's how I went about it. And it wasn't even like the thick strips. It was like, the thin one that's like half the thickness of the bigger one.
Yeah.
It was terrible. Yeah. Really bad.
Live and learn, right? Live and learn.
Yeah.
Cool. So how,
go ahead.
After fooling with all of that, how did you get involved with EMAX?
That's actually an interesting story. So I'm a sales associate for EMAX. My good buddy and my coworker, JD Mora, he's actually the sales manager. So one day we were actually at a fun fly through LAFPV. We were at a meet just racing, and their kid showed up, and he had a unique quad. It was a Breeze. And I saw him with it, and I was like, oh, man, this is my first time seeing one out in the wild. So I was actually kind of excited. You work with these things, you talk to these people all day, and then you get to see someone actually enjoying it in person. So I actually went over to the kid. He didn't have any issues or anything like that. We were just talking, chatting. He asked me, how do you do this? How do you do that? And I helped him out. And so JD, I didn't know he was watching, but he took note of that. And a couple of weeks ago, they decided, we need another sales associate. So he thought of me because, I'm local in the same area. We've known each other. We've flown together. And he told me that instance is actually why he called me. So he called me in for an interview. That went good and started working at EMAX.
Elvin, you know this story, right? That's what you tell everybody, right? You don't know who's watching and you don't know where the opportunities come, do you?
Right.
Yeah, seriously.
You never
Seriously, you never know. And looking back is pretty crazy. I'm glad I was in a good mood that day.
Yeah, there you go. That's true.
Or something.
Sometimes it's just like that too, man. It's just like it. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
buckle it in.
Hey, you're at these big events, right? There could be a big shot, an owner of a company walking around, and you just chat up somebody. Then you find out, oh, he's actually important, and then you're like, hey, now I have a good contact. That's how life works.
That's my thing. I spent 3 days with a dude. We hanging out. We went to lunch. We, riding around together, hanging out. Went flying, and I'm like, in the end, I'm like. I thought he was the manager, Turns out he was the owner. It's like, he was like, me, you, we good,
And that's where that hat came from? I'm just kidding.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Okay, so tell me what a sales associate at EMAX does.
Okay, so basically what a sales associate does, I go online, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, Google even, and I search for hobby shops, whether they have a storefront or just an online shop, and I see what they're selling. You know what I mean? If I see they have EMAX and it's old product, like product we put out over a year ago or so, or they don't have EMAX at all, I go to their contact us tab, call them or email them, whatever the case may be, and I call them and I say, hey, you have EMAX, it's old, let's get you up to date, or hey, you don't have EMAX, let's get the EMAX in your store. And I work with them to, order the parts. Say it's a hobby shop that doesn't know anything about multi-rotors, but they want to get into them. I work with them to let them know what's hot, what they need to stock to actually be an FPV shop or, a multi-rotor shop. I also handle, customers dealers tech questions, asking about ESCs, motors, baby hawks, what have you. And that's pretty much the gist of it, as far as also answering our general support email that comes in for people that want to be dealers. But that's pretty much as far as my main job title includes.
That's a lot of stuff right there. That is a lot of stuff.
It's in the name, sales associate, sales.
That's right. That's right. Now,
Sales
Elvin,
and everything associated.
I have a question for you because you've been in the hobby for a very long time. When somebody asks you what EMAX is, what do you tell them?
I've since I have some of EMAX's original motors, the blue ones, the big ones. I just tell people that they're a good motor company. They've been around for years. They kind of like low key, but a lot of guys run them. You know, when it comes to RC cars, you'll find a lot of guys run EMAX motors. The bigger RC plane motors, like above 35 millimeter. You know, you're looking at 35, 40, 50 millimeter motor size. Outrunners. A lot of guys run EMAX motors in that size. I know that for a fact because I have a bunch of them.
Yeah. Very true. Yeah. And actually, they make more than just motors, right? EMAX also makes other things. So we're not trying to pigeonhole EMAX here, but they've been a very they've been around a while, and they're known for their good quality. And they've
really humble beginnings too, which a lot of people would be surprised by. Like, I mean, literally the guy hand winding his own motors in his apartment. So I know that from the bottom up.
Yeah,
In-runners,
yeah.
Not outrunners, guys. Again, I'm gonna tell you guys that the most efficient brushless motors are in-runners, and outrunners are cheap, torquey, but they're cheap, you know, and inefficient. Not as efficient. Let's just say not as efficient as in-runners.
Don't worry, Elvin. We'll get there. Of course, you know, we kind of like our cheap motors. I'm going to be honest with you.
I know.
Because we break a lot of motors. So that's what keeps EMAX in business. Crash into the tree. Yep, new motor, new arm, new everything.
Yeah, but I got a bunch of red bottoms, so, you know.
Probably one of the most popular motors to date, and they're really affordable at this point. So that's really cool. So
retail $16.
Yeah,
you can price for a name brand. Yeah. Not only the name brand, but you also have the guys behind it, like myself. If anyone ever has any issues, they can talk to us anytime.
Pretty cool.
Something to be proud of.
All right.
Yep.
So this is a question that I'm always going to ask you is like, okay, so you're a sales associate. So how do you become a dealer for EMAX?
So it's pretty simple. We could be reached a lot of ways. So if you're a Facebook guy, just look up EMAX USA. You could send us a message on Facebook. Let them know you need to talk to a sales associate like myself. If you want to even ask for me, that's even better. Say, I need Brandon as my sales associate. So you just send a message to EMAX USA. We could talk to you there. Instagram, again, EMAX_USA. You could send a message there. Or if you go on the actual website, which is emax-usa.com, there's a contact us. You can send us an email, or there's a service tab. You could create a ticket. Let them know the same thing. You want to be a dealer.
Cool.
So a number of ways. No excuses.
No excuses. So if somebody wants to contact you, Brandon, because they know you through the podcast, how would they contact you?
You could contact me on Facebook. My name's just Brandon Souza. You could shoot me a message. I'm always on my phone. I always have it ready because of dealers calling me or texting me. You can also find me on the EMAX Facebook group. So that's the official EMAX. Post there, say, hey, I need to talk to Brandon or something, and I'll see it. Or just send me a message. Even if you forget my name, just look up EMAX USA. Let them know you want to talk to me, and I can get in contact with you. No problem.
There you go. That's how you get in touch with EMAX Brandon. That's his new name. he's gonna name me after this.
Brandon. Just Brandon. Just so you guys know. If my coworkers are listening, I specifically asked not to be called EMAX Brandon.
Exactly.
He did. I'll vouch for it, but we're gonna call him that anyway.
That's the title of the podcast. He's gonna hate me. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I'll say I was never even on that podcast.
Except your name. Your picture will be on it.
Interview.
No, we won't get in any trouble. So, like, what kind of marketing and sales do you do for them? Like, do you help with the marketing aspect of this?
Yes, I do. So I also work with the marketing or advertising side of things. So the marketing director here at EMAX USA is Sam. We work together on the Facebook posts, such as, giving shout outs if someone posted a cool video, or want to race using our stuff, we work together to find those posts. We repost them, post images of our motors, ESCs, what have you, for the website. While we're putting it on the website anyways, we post it to the social media so you guys can see the nice pictures before they get beat up on the quads. We also do the Instagrams, similar kind of concept, giving shout outs to people, showing off what we have to show off as far as new products. Really, if any of you guys are listening and you want to be featured on Instagram, for example, tag us in your EMAX stuff. If you have a quad, you're all proud of it, built with EMAX motors, tag at EMAX_USA for your chance to get reposted by yours truly. A lot of people like that. We also do live stream videos. So one thing we've been doing a lot is giveaways on the live stream. You come listen to us talk. Last time we did the live stream, we had like 5 different products to show off, talk about one, give everyone a viewing chance to ask questions about that specific product, answer all those questions, move on to the next product, et cetera, et cetera. And a lot of our live streams, like I said, we do giveaways. So the last one we did was giving away a set of Pagoda antennas. And as far as our giveaways, it's pretty easy. It's normally a like, share, comment situation. So make sure you guys always keep an eye out on the Facebook and the Instagram. We're always doing a giveaway. Normally, if we have a giveaway going on Facebook, we normally have the same giveaway on Instagram, but giving away 2 of the same item. So it gives basically everyone 2 chances to win. So
there you
that's
go.
pretty much what I do.
Tips to
online.
win free stuff from Brandon.
Yeah. Keep an eye on the Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, for
See,
sure.
I didn't add EMAX in there. I'm good. I'm good. No, I'm not. I'm not good at all. So, hey, Elvin, I know you like EMAX stuff. Is there something that you would want to give feedback to EMAX on a product that you're using?
Well, I'm fortunate enough to say that I got one of these little sugar daddies right here, and I'm very impressed. I must say that I got my hands on a baby hawk. All my friends were raving about it, and I watched their videos. I saw Joshua's. I saw drone camps. All of them. Joshua was the one that really stuck to me, like got me going. Because like me and him kind of felt the same about a lot of the other drones in that category, the size category, that either they were an oversized Inductrix or it was just a hot rod. And what I needed for the recipe I have is I like to fly at night, and I can't fly a 3-inch race quad through the neighborhood at 2:00 in the morning. It's just, you're going to wake up everybody on the street. Sometimes I go out and I set up little lights out in front, and I can fly around the parking lot or whatever, and never bother anybody. And that's the whole goal, And everything else I have is like overkill. So I kept watching the videos, and when Joshua said that he was surprised and impressed, I said I got to get one to find out what the hell is going on, right? So I got one. And I have 2S 450 batteries on here. I have an orange RX diversity receiver for long range. And I can tell you I've been out a half mile. And it flies really well.
You are crazy. A half mile? You are crazy on a little micro quad like
field. We're flying in a straight line. It's a big old field, You just follow me.
You dropped that needle in a haystack to find that sucker,
dude. I had to go. The first trip I made across the field, the battery went down, so I walked and walked and walked and walked and walked and found it, because I follow a straight line. There's like a little trail in this field. Anyway, so I found it. Anyway, the second time I made it, but I have to say, video, like I did fly another Baby Hawk, and its video was kind of lacking. And even after we took it to 200 milliwatt, we had some issues, and we believe that was that one, because the other 3 that I've flown since then fly flawless, no video interference, no breakup, you know, um, nothing that I wouldn't accept from any other VTX. You know what I mean? That I could say. I don't like the limited amount of channels, but other than that, man, you guys did a hell of a job with a 2S setup, and it flies well. I'm running Beta Flight 3.17 right now, I
Nice.
think, and BL Heli 16.666, and I'm impressed. I seriously, the last 2 guys I talked to today about this ship that have one, we all are like, wow, that's exactly what we wanted. You know, it's in the right size. You can pretty much fly it anywhere. Um, it's small enough to not intimidate people. Um, and we have a plan of going flying downtown. You know, downtown Portland. There's a spot where we've always talked about flying at night, and it's going to be about 5 of us. We're going to take off in the middle of the night and go ride the TriMet down there and race around downtown Portland in the more early in the morning. Should
Some
be
baby
fun.
hawk building dives, or just kidding?
I don't know about that, you know.
Don't
'Cause,
do that, please. I was not on this podcast, remember?
I don't like jail. I can tell you that. I'm not a jail guy. I'm about putting people in jail, but not me going there. I don't like that thing. But I think we were impressed. We're still impressed, and I wanted to thank EMAX for giving us this opportunity in my group. We got International Drone Day coming up this weekend, and they gave us an opportunity to get these baby hawks to display them at International Drone Day with the and that's what we're planning on doing. We're giving the audience an opportunity to learn more about drones and try to take away the negative connotations about drones, whatever size they are. And we figured the baby hawk is so unintimidating. You know what I mean? It's almost inviting. Like I flew around for like 10 minutes, and everybody was like, "Dude, let me fly, let me fly, let me fly, let me fly." You know, so
That is pretty cool.
I think that's what everybody really needs in this market to grow this hobby into a larger entity, so that we can get the other opportunities that we've been all dreaming about.
Pretty cool. Hey, Brandon, you want to fill us in on the tech specs of the Baby Hawk?
Yeah,
I
man.
could definitely do that. Just want to say thanks for the kind words, Elvin. Also, glad you guys are enjoying it. Makes me happy to hear. So for the Baby Hawk, to start off, it's 85 millimeter brushless micro. The motors are 1104, 2550 kV. The propellers are 2.3-inch props. These propellers are actually designed by us to get the most thrust out of this motor. So, we could have went with some other props,
Nice.
but we specifically made this prop to get the max thrust out. The flight controller is our F3 Femto micro flight controller. It actually accepts 2 to 4S, so if you have any micro builds or like 3-inch builds that you want on the 4S, you could use that as a lightweight, small option. The ESCs are bullet 6-amp ESCs. They do multi-shot, D-shot, one-shot, whatever you need them to run. Out of the box, the Baby Hawk is one-shot and multi-shot ready. There is Richard Whelan, which is HPI guy, who has put up a video and instruction on how to make D-shot if that's what you're into. I mean, I like multi-shot, but if you want that, you could do that. The VTX is an all-in-one, of course, camera VTX all-in-one with a dipole antenna, adjustable power between 25 and 200 milliwatt. Me and I think most of the guys I know run them on high power. I don't think I haven't heard any issues of someone on high power and someone else on high power having video issues as long as they got the channels right. Quick tip for Elvin and anyone listening: if you want to beat your friends at a baby hawk race, take off the prop guards and 2 of the screws holding. So the props come with 4 screws on them. Take the 2 screws off and the prop guards. You'll lose about 12 grams almost. And then you'll be the fastest one on the field, Elvin. How's
You're
that
not
sound,
allowed
huh?
to do that, Elvin. You are not allowed to do that. In fact,
No,
you get 2 extra prop guards.
We gotta keep it. We gotta keep it fair. We gotta keep it fair.
Hey, Brandon, I need a special order. I need some aluminum prop guards to put on Elvin's.
Aluminum. I don't know if that'll cause more or less damage, to be honest. I don't know.
Actually, I don't know either. So I got a question for you, Elvin, because I like the specs of the Baby Hawk. What is the MSRP on this, Brandon?
$99.99, so $100.
That is fantastic for the type of little micro quad that you're getting, because those are some really impressive specs for a $100 quad. So, Elvin, what?
I'll be right back. Back.
You know what? He's got to hand a quad off to somebody. That's what he is.
What are you handing
hand
off,
out a Baby Hawk.
so I know. What are you handing off?
A Baby Hawk to Mark.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
My buddy.
But I'll talk about some other things while he's away.
Yeah.
Mention.
You got it. You got it.
Just to be clear, the MSRP of 100, that's PNP. So if anyone doesn't know, PNP means you got to add your receiver. A lot of people ask us, why don't you make it FR Sky ready? Why isn't it Spectrum ready? The reason being is we wanted anyone to be able to use it. So the way the flight controller works, it takes PPM, S-Bus, even PWM. So whether you have, FR Sky, Tyrannus, QX7, Spectrum, DXE, DX6, DX8, 9, what have you, or even Fly Sky, no matter what kind of radio you have, as long as you have a receiver that fits on the little guy, you could use this. So that was our main goal, is for anyone to be able to have it for a pretty inexpensive price, $100. There's no question as far as what you're getting for the money.
Definitely. Is there
the only bind and fly we're gonna have coming is the FR Sky version.
So
we're gonna have that.
There is a bind and fly version coming, or is it already available?
It's coming. It's actually coming very soon, though. Our owners in China actually work with FR Sky, so we're gonna have official XM pluses on there. They're not going to be some knockoff FR Sky. They're not going to be a clone of a receiver. It's going to be an official XM plus receiver on the Baby Hawk for you guys that have Tyrannus or QX7, what have you. Just bind right up to it. You're ready to go.
That's pretty cool. So no plans to do a Spectrum version?
RTF, most likely not. Not that, we don't want to do a Spectrum version. The Baby Hawk works with the Spectrum version. We just want to keep the price low, things like that. I know the receivers are a little bit more pricey, and we wouldn't want to put a clone like a Lemon or anything on there. So we just let if you have Spectrum and you want to use the Baby Hawk, just get the PNP version.
That's true. The Spectrum receivers are always more expensive, and if you put in a clone, I'm sure Spectrum won't be happy with you. So
yeah, we would never do anything like that. That's why we'll just make it PNP, add the receiver. This weekend we were actually at flight tests, and my guys, some of my tech guys, my coworker Brandon Souza and Sam, they probably installed about 25 Spectrum receivers on Baby Hawks, but people that bought it at the event to fly at the event. So they were sitting right there at our booth installing receivers, and
that's customer service.
How many Baby Hawks did you sell?
Well, we weren't actually selling the Baby Hawks. We were kind of just putting them on display because we work with Flight Test. So Flight Test had it in their store. We just kind of shut it off, directed it to them store. We only brought about 50 with us, and they were all gone like in 2 days. If we would have brought more, they would have been gone too.
That's why I said,
get them while they're hot, folks. Get them while they're hot.
Everybody. That's why you can't find no batteries, though. That's the only problem now.
Yeah, but we're gonna have our own branded batteries also that are gonna be pretty.
Oh man, EMAX is branching out. You better be careful, guys. They're a long-running company. What I really like about the Baby Hawk is that you can fly it outside. One of the things that's really bad about the Industrious is that if you fly it outside in any type of wind, I'm talking about a little breeze, it's like, nope, not going anywhere in that direction. Yeah. And it's tough. I
was very shocked at that today. I took off and I was racing cars down the sidewalk, just the guy came back and he's like, dude, that thing is fast enough to pass me out. You passed me at like 30 miles an hour. I was like, yeah.
Okay, one question for you, Elvin.
Yes.
If you were to fly that baby hawk, would you fly it near a bunch of infants? Is it as safe as the Inductress? That's the question.
I think definitely. It's that safe. It's a little bit more weight, but you're only going to startle the kid if you bump one. So as long as you don't get hair stuck in it, you should be fine.
Okay.
No, I'll always be honest with everyone. So full disclosure, I've seen one of those baby hawk props cut and make someone bleed. So they're no joke. It needs to be taken seriously.
So be
but
nice.
It's still not as serious as a 3 or 5 inch. You know what I mean?
Right. True that.
And we have love for all companies, all manufacturers. This weekend at Flight Test, we were flying our Inductrixes. I bought upgraded Tiny Whoop, Inductrix from B-Rotor at Flight Test, and we were flying it all inside, the main indoor facility. So we always say that Tiny Whoop will always have its place. Baby Hawk has a place. Micros will always have their place, whether they be brushed or brushless. I would say it all depends on the environment that you're in, the space you have to fly, and the skill you have as a pilot. That's the way I would go about it.
Definitely. And Elvin, and you can confirm this too, Brandon. You can go acro, which is manual mode, or you can go. Is it angle or horizon? Is it both?
You can have both. Yeah, you can do whichever. And acro, yeah.
Okay, so angle is the one where you can't flip. Horizon is the one is where you can flip, but it's still stabilized. And then acro or manual mode is where it's all on you, and if you crash, it's on you.
Yeah. So the way a lot of people go about it, like I know, even just talking to Jesse Perkins this weekend, as far as Tiny Whoop goes, for indoor flight, a lot of those guys like using angle still. So I know, like me, I fly my Baby Hawk in acro all the time. I don't know, I just like to. But a lot of my coworkers, they say for indoors, they like it in angle mode because it makes it a little easier for them to hit the gaps. But I think it's just because, like Elvin, they're old, so maybe it just. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. No. So yeah, I fly in acro, but I know for a lot of people that want to fly tight spaces, they do angle, take it outside, do acro. You'll be fine either way.
If it makes Elvin stressed, I agree completely, 110%. You don't need to say anything, Elvin.
What's funny is that's the second time today I've made that joke. I just had to say it again.
Yes.
Man. Okay, so like other than doing some pretty cool product placement for EMAX, I think you told me you did some testing. What do you do for testing for EMAX?
Anything I can get my hands on that we have coming to us or new. So for example, when I first started working at EMAX, they were just getting the electronics. So a lot of people don't know this, but we sell a micro power kit, which actually includes the motors, the props, the ESCs, and the flight controller that's on the Baby Hawk. And that was actually out more than a month before the actual Baby Hawk. So that was a great way for us to like test the components of the Baby Hawk. So we didn't have any of the plastic yet to test it on the Baby Hawk frame at that time. So we were like getting little carbon fiber and just building micros. And they were pretty much the same weight. The plastic is actually about like 15 grams lighter. So I got to test a lot of the early Baby Hawk prototypes as far as the electronics, testing how durable the motors are, how good the props are, how balanced, what kind of flight times we can expect, learning how to install the receivers beforehand so that we could guide people, flashing, coming up with some good PIDs, things like that. So I tested the Baby Hawk components before it was released. I tested some of the 2306 before they came out. Also, the ESCs, the Bullet ESCs were already out before I started, but I've also tested a prototype for the 1606 we have coming out pretty soon. So I think a lot of people will be excited for that. That's pretty much it right now, but I'm sure we have a lot more stuff coming that I'll be able to get my hands on.
See, look, being a
1606 is going to replace the 1407?
Are you asking me or are you saying? I don't know.
I'm asking. Is that the motor to replace the 1407?
I would say so, because I mean, I guess it depends on the person. Like if you're going for super light, the 1407 is going to be lighter. But if you don't mind a little bit more weight for the more torque and power you're going to get, then the 1606 would be better. So I've flown the 1606 on a 3-inch, and it just screamed. It was actually, I would say, what you would call a heavy 3-inch frame from today's standards. It was like a Shrieker, a Shenzhen Shrieker, with a full-size camera. So it had some weight to it. If you did it all like micro with a micro camera and micro VTX, you can get it pretty light, and then you're just screaming on the 1606. And I know a lot of people are doing, lightweight builds with 1407 on 5-inch with like light dual blades. So something like that with a 1606, I would say you have more torque, more power. So, it could definitely well be. Everyone's always going to like their brands, but main thing I would say is try it out for yourself. You don't even need to listen to me.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Hey, being a sales associate has some perks. You get to test out some new stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I get to play with a lot of stuff. And I feel bad because we see the guys here, we fly with the guys locally. Of course, we have it in our quads. They're like, what is that? When's that coming out? And I'm like, whoa, guys, I'm sorry. Don't hate me, please. It's a lot of fun.
Hey, Elvin, you need to get on that test bench.
Yeah. Being in Southern California, I mean, a lot of guys have prototype stuff. I'm sure you guys know there's a lot of companies out here. So people are always testing like prototype frames, prototype motors from this company, that company, ESCs, what have you. I mean, it just happens to be a hub of the industry. So
California almost always is, a lot of port cities over there, a lot of new stuff coming over from China, a lot of R&D because that's cash flow, man. It's cash flow through California. It's a real deal. So
yeah.
Pretty cool, though. Pretty cool. Okay, let's get away from business, okay? We already talked a lot about EMAX. I love the company. And if you want to become a dealer, go talk to Brandon. And, hopefully we'll see you at more events because I've seen a lot of EMAX booth at events lately. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're coming. We just did this year so far. We went to Purdue, which was the first collegiate nationals race through multi-GP at Purdue University in Indiana. We just came back from flight test. We were there almost a week, flight test west. The first one's coming up that I know for sure. We have Joe Nall, flight test east, and whatever else we hear about in the meantime or after that will be there.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, so let's get away from that and let's talk about your mini quad career. I don't know, career, fun. There we go. Since you get to test all this cool stuff, what do you like to do with your mini quads?
For me, they joke about it here, but I'm like the freestyle guy. So I like just flying around, finding new spots to do flippy flops and
those gaps.
Yeah, hit the gaps, hit the cool spots, do the cool tricks, what have you. Break some HQ props.
HQ.
Hey, you know what? That's the
Wait. I got a question. So you literally like HQ props?
Yeah, I run the original 5x4x3 Schizo Blue for good luck.
See, he must be good because like you hit something, those props are gone.
Right,
yeah.
They're done.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
I like some HQ. I got a bunch. Like everybody else. We all use multiple different types of props. There is some props I won't use, but I won't say that on over the air. But I like HQ props. I mean, I have a ton load of them, and guess where I got them mostly from? Drone Nationals 2015.
Are you serious? You still have props from that?
I literally got like 10 bags of props still from 2015 Drone Nationals.
That's a lot of bags of props, bro.
Yeah. And I mean 6-inch, 5-inch, and they all HQs, man. They all them finger cutters. All them finger
I definitely cut my fingers. Yeah, for sure.
Them finger cutters. Them things is
bleeding on my
slicey up
Tyrannus while I'm pinching. It's happened to me.
So, do you do any racing at all, Brandon?
Yeah, we do some racing. There's a guy down here named Jeff Drone. He sets up what he calls Rainbow Road. So we set up a whole LED track with the LED rope. We kind of race for fun. There's also the permanent racetrack in Southern California, or Open Grove Raceway in Ventura. They hold some multi-GP races there. Trying to make it out there. Anything local, basically, is what I want to be involved in. As long as people I consider friends are in the event, I'm happy to be there.
Pretty cool. Nice. Pretty cool. Now, what draws you to like FPV freestyle? Is it just the openness? Like, why do you like that so much?
Multiple reasons. First, that's where I started. Like I said, I started watching the Schizo videos, the Shard Poo videos. All that, you gain the inspiration. So that's just what I remember, always having those feelings of just, wow. So I just like going to like a new spot, especially when you're with your buddies. I don't know, like you have a lot of fun out of racing, high fiving. I beat you, you beat me, and it has that competitive edge. But something about freestyle, I feel it's more of a camaraderie. Like, dude, that was a good run, or that run was pretty impressive, and stuff like that. High fiving after a good one. There's just something about it. I think going to a new place and trying to see what you could do with that place, exploding into concrete, exploding into trees. It's a lot of overall fun. And I honestly think I spend less on the months that I freestyle only than when I race. Because when I race, I think I spend a lot more on parts. Seriously, ESCs, not ESCs, more motors and props and carbon. Oh, yeah, I think I spend more racing than I do freestyle. So I could stick to freestyle.
I agree with you because like every single time I go race, and you know me, I am a hobbyist. I am not a racer. It's like every single time I go to a race, it's like, and I race, it's like I break something. It's like, son of a gun, there's something else to go
Yeah.
replace.
Yeah.
What about you, Elvin? Do you find you replace more stuff when racing than just going out and flying for fun?
Yep, I can agree to that. Like my little goof off ship, I never break nothing on it, until I get to the race. We get ready to hit that line, and either that first gate or that second one is something missing.
Something missing, or something broken off, limping down. It's like, oh no,
Yeah,
that needs to be replaced.
last we went out to a field a couple of weeks ago, and we're just doing some drag racing. Me and about six guys, and we were drag racing, and I turned the corner, and we heard my prop, we heard the antenna get hit by the prop, but nobody has any clue where it went. We heard tack, like that, and I went, no video, because the antenna was completely gone. Yeah, it
I've
unscrewed
done
itself,
that.
and everybody's like, I'm like, where's my antenna? They're like, I don't know. And we looked for like 30 minutes, could not find that antenna.
Are you
It's
kidding
gone.
me?
Yeah.
There's no way you would find that antenna. You better have GPS on that
We were
antenna.
looking because when you tell everybody, it's a menace, or it's this, or it's that. Oh, if I find it, some people want to take your antenna.
Too much trouble when you lose something, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Now, you know what? The funny thing is though, is that like I probably crash more when I'm trying to freestyle, but I'm going at a much slower speed, or maybe the stuff I'm hitting is much softer, so I don't break as much. But you still break shit. So it's just how it
You
is.
still break stuff. I would like to think I'm getting better, but I think I'm not getting better at flying, more getting better at crashing.
There
So
we
if you
go.
hit something, you're yaw spinning out of control, just disarm. Just
Yeah,
disarm and let it drop. Don't throttle, try to throttle, gain back control, because then you crash harder. Things like that. When you
Yeah.
land in the tree, don't full throttle, just disarm. I don't know,
Right.
things like that.
it's true. Now, do you guys get competitive when you go freestyling? He's like, I challenge you to go through that gap, or I could do better than that, or do you guys just kind of like
No,
just
we
do it
keep
for fun?
everything really positive. Like, oh, you're up. Let me show me what you got. What song do you want? What gives you the most inspiration? Whatever. One thing that I have tried to do recently is kind of like set a line. Like, okay, like instead of just flying around, you flip as you come. Like starting, okay, I'm gonna take off here, hit that gap, flip over that. That kind of thing. I've been working more on that to be a little bit more precise with what I'm doing.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I agree. That's a great training thing to too. When you're going into a maneuver, if you're paying attention to where you want to come down at, that's one of those aesthetics about when you're getting judged. And when I'm looking at your flying skills, I'm looking at how well you stayed on certain lines. If
Yeah.
you if you hop the line, or if your flight looks like you intentionally hit that, it looks so much cleaner. Everything looks so much smoother and more professional.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
definitely.
All right. So this is the portion of the schedule where we try to predict the future. So we get out our magic ball, we rub it, and then we're all wrong. So we're gonna let EMAX Brandon be wrong this time. So we just no, like, hey, you're a sales associate. You're out in California. You see a lot of product move in and out. It's like, what are you seeing? Like, what are the trends that are you seeing in FPV right now? Are you seeing people, wanting just more thrust? They want more efficiency. They're going to different types of quads. Is there any trends that you're seeing?
I mean, as much as I hate to say it, it's kind of all over the place. More people want higher KV, less KV, more torque, lighter weight, more durable. It's all kinds of stuff. Everyone you ask is going to say that they want something different. So we just do our best to kind of come up with what fits everyone's needs as best as we can. You know what I mean? Not everyone's going to like the same motor consistently, no matter what. So we look for, the great things that everyone wants: torque, durability, power. Try to keep it at that and put the best motor out we can, depending on the size. We have the 2205s, the 2306, the 1606, 1104s, even newer, smaller motors. We're working on 1106 with the higher KVs, things like that. So it's hard to really pick up on any trends. I know what trends for us as far as what items sell the most. Right now I would say our Baby Hawks, our 2306, of course, our Bullet 30 amp ESCs are the most popular ESC we sell right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say it's pretty hard to say as far as how trends go. And if you ask the dealers, the custom is great for like the customer and the hobby, that innovations coming on, all these different motors that come out every month, every week even. But if you talk to the dealers themselves, they almost wish that they would slow down. Sometimes it's a bit much. You know what I mean? You got our new motor, and this other company goes, "Oh, we put out this almost a similar motor, but it's different because it's ours."
Yep.
And we just do our best to adapt. But I guarantee you, the hobby shops you're buying for, the online shops you're buying for, they feel it when the new hotness comes out, and they have a good stock of the old stuff. And so just keep that in mind. Not just because it's new doesn't mean that it's any better. You know what I mean?
It's tough though. It's tough because there is a lot of product coming out. Like, does EMAX feel the stress of needing to come out with a new motor just to keep up with everybody else is coming out with a new motor?
I would say definitely not. A difference between us, actually, I shouldn't say that because I don't want to speak for anyone else because I don't know what they have going on. But the way we go about it, to give you an idea, the 2306, I'm sure you guys know Ferrari, Conrad.
Mm-hmm.
So way before I even started working for EMAX about a year ago, he was visiting Southern California and he had prototype 2306 on his quad. So when we come up with something, it's not, we need a new motor. What's the hype number? 2306. It did not happen like that. This motor has been prototyped by EMAX for over a year. So when we come out with something, it's been worked on by the engineers. It's been tested, and for sure you're going to get a good product as far as what you're getting. And for sure, many packs have been burned through that product before it gets to you.
That's pretty cool, and it's nice to see that, when a company comes out with a new motor, with a good brand name, that that they've actually been quality testing it for a while, and it wasn't just, oh, we need a new motor, and it's like, here it is. Yeah. And it's no different from the last motor except like a new label.
Yeah. like people asked us, 2306, Steel's motor came out in 2306 around the same time. And like me personally, I love TBS stuff, and people asked us, oh, did you guys make that because TBS put out 2306? Like, no, we had no idea that they were going to release that. It was just by chance,
Right.
I'm sure people say great minds think alike. Maybe one of our engineers, one of their engineers, they're thinking the same kind of feel. So it is what it is.
Pretty cool. Yep. Now, when a new product comes out, do they just like hand it over, let you test it, and then like let you go sell it, or like do they actually give you some training so that you know what's coming down the pipelines, fairly soon?
Well, a lot of times that's what's good about us having a U.S. office compared to a lot of manufacturers. So you have us here in the U.S. that understand the market, not only because we work in it, but because we fly. So we know what's hot right now. When you talk to your friends, you go to a group meeting, there's 30 of you. Okay, what's everyone running? What amperage of ESC? What kind of motor? What KVs is everyone liking? And then we come together and we talk about it. And then we talk to our engineers and let them know, this is what's popular right now. This is what's not popular right now. What could we come up with that's going to be even better? but not something that's going to be even better in the way that it's barely better than what we have, where it needs to actually be different from what we have. So a lot of times we end up telling them what we need, and they end up prototyping and sending it to us so that we could test it, tell them what needs to be changed. We might go through multiple sample, test prototypes before we get to the final and tell them, okay, this is it, go for it. And then we start making it. In the past, the U.S. office didn't have as big as a presence as far as to say what gets made. But in recent time, meaning this whole past year and a lot of last year, that's where the transition has gone to, where they recognize the U.S. market kind of dictates a lot of what people are going to buy, a lot of what people are going to sell. So we kind of taken a lot of control over what products we want to make and things like that.
That is pretty cool. So, have you noticed that like smaller motors are like on the uptake and are overtaking like the standard size mini quad motors, or is it just kind of like they're both going at their own different pace?
For sure, an uptick in micros. A lot of people like micros, and like for you said, normally they're more inexpensive. You have the Baby Hawk for 100, or the Tiny Boot for 100. So normally they're more inexpensive. They're smaller, not as loud. Like as Evelyn was saying, he could fly at night. So for sure, an uptick in the micros. That's why we're working on 1106 motors, things like that. The 5-inch still will always have the place because people might fly their micros in their free time, but when it comes down to Saturday, Sunday, they want to go out and race their 5-inch, with their friends. So I think they both just have their own markets, and they're both pretty good. So.
Okay, pretty cool, pretty cool. So here comes the part where we try to get Brandon to tell us his secrets, his deep dark secrets from the EMAX secret facility. Any new products? That's right. Any new products that you want to tell us about?
Oh man, I slowly mentioned them all almost as we were talking. But yeah, so we have the 11. We're working on an 1106, just trying to finalize the KV, kind of that works best for what we want. We have the 1606 coming out, most likely again in 2 different KVs. A new one that we had that's pretty interesting is the 3025. So I'm sure you guys know the X-Class guys have come on here. So we actually designed that as what we would say the first X-Class size motor that was designed for racing. So we saw the X-Class guys at flight test. We asked them, so are most of these motors just like AP motors you threw on there? They're like, yeah, that's all we got. So we're one of the first, if not the first, to specifically design a product for X-Class racing. Actually, we're not the first, because I know I've seen posts from like Zoe on like B-Rotor and things like that. So we're one of the first to actually design a product for the X-Class racing.
So 3025, is that 6S capable, and what KV?
Yeah, so it's meant to run, it's 500 kV, meant to run 13-inch props, 6S, and it should be pulling up from our test about 40 amps on the 13-inch props on 6S, so it's pretty good at 40 amps and producing about 4 kilograms of thrust per motor on that 13-inch.
Whoa, hey, that's some pretty good numbers right there. Plus, like
like I said,
13-inch prop pulling 40 amps. I mean, that's pretty good. Because like I talked to some of the X-Class guys, they're putting like 80 amp ESCs on there. So I know
that's why they're excited. Like, I'm so sorry if they are listening, because there's a lady that came up to me, and I'm so sorry I don't remember her name. I think her name was Bree, so maybe that saves me. But she's actually the wife of like the main X-Class guy. She came up to us. So the first X-Class person we met at flight test, she came running over to us saying, thank you so much for creating an X-Class motor. So they're pretty excited about it. A lot of them want to get their hands on it. We want to do our best to do that. I mean, it's dead obvious that the market isn't huge, but we still decided to take the time to work on something, whether if we can only make it in a small batch for those guys to try out, we'll do what we can. But I think we're pretty excited about it. Our main guy who kind of worked on that motor, Sam, he worked closely with, guys like Bob Rugi and Sharif from Horace Drones to talk about specs and what would be ideal. So a lot of people are excited for it. We're excited to work on more stuff. Just like I said, the market has to be there. So
that's 4,000 watts per ship.
Hey.
4,000 watts per ship.
Hey, 6S batteries,
we haven't even seen them fly yet. We haven't even seen the motors fly yet. We got it to a tester, Bob Rugi, who does the hyperlight frames from Surge, So he's gonna get some carbon in for it and get that tested out for us. He's actually gonna build an octo. So
So
octo.
it'll be 8,000 watts because it's 1,000 watts per motor.
He's slapping 8 of those motors on there, 4 kilograms per motor. That's
some
pretty wild.
hellacious thrust.
It's 32 kilograms, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like
8
60
times 4?
pounds of thrust on something that will probably weigh about 5 pounds.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's some good numbers right there. Hey, Elvin,
it should go.
yeah, do you think that could be a good high efficiency wing motor?
That's what I was thinking too. I was thinking the same thing if the wing guys would use it.
Well, listen, I can tell you, I'll put it on. Something.
But I'm not going to send you one, Elvin, so let's not even talk about it.
Oh, damn. See how I tried to slide in on that home plate. He shut me down.
He shut you down.
I actually asked Johnny from Team Legit out of curiosity, would this 3025 named all the same specs I gave you guys be good on a wing? He told me pretty much just a big wing. It could be a pretty large wing. That's all I know.
I got one of those.
You still trying,
Brandon? I actually told Elvin earlier I actually going to build my first wing, a Flight Test Mini Aero. I'm pretty excited to try that out.
He's going to come back like, I don't need you no more.
Now he's going to come back. He's like, here, come laminate this for me.
Yeah, there you go. I need help. I need a class.
Maybe, who knows?
Yeah, no problem. I'm always here to help. All you got to do is ask, and I'll show you if I can. If I can't, I'll show you somebody else that can.
There you go.
Sounds good.
That's pretty cool. All right, so let's go ahead and start wrapping up. So, like, this is the part where I want to say, like, if you had to work with EMAX for a long period of time, is there another company that you would want to work for as well?
In FPV?
In FPV.
I mean, if you would have asked me before I started working, I would have said, sure, and, named out all these big names. But after getting to know everyone here and getting to know the owners, I honestly don't think so. It's like a family here. Like, our group is so small.
Yeah.
We're a team. We work together on everything. Like I said, I do sales. That's what I was hired for. But I do the marketing, advertising, help out wherever I can in the R&D, product testing. We all wear many hats here, and in the end, a hat that we all wear is family, I would say. So the vibe that you get when working here, it's like nowhere else I've worked. Like, I've never felt so taken care of. I've never felt like I work for someone who cares so much about the people using their products. The name of our owner is Bob. So Bob and his wife Melody are the ones that own EMAX, and I'll tell you, the passion he gets, even seeing us fly these prototype Baby Hawks, in the warehouse, it's like nothing else. It can't be faked. You know what I mean? So I would definitely say I'd stay with EMAX. And just know, if any of you guys buy EMAX, you have someone that cares about the community and cares about you using his product. I guarantee you.
There you go.
Pretty cool.
That's important, man. That's important.
It is important. Pretty cool. All right. Brandon, how can we find you on the internet, even though you already said that about half an hour ago? But that's how we wrap up the show.
If you want to contact me through EMAX, you can look up Facebook, EMAX USA, Instagram, EMAX_USA, or me on Facebook. I'm just Brandon Souza. You could contact me there. And that's pretty much it.
Okay, cool. And if our listeners out in California, where do you like to hang out and fly?
I'll keep that to my. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, that's fine.
Mostly in Orange County area. They have the Orange County Flyers Club. I live in an area that's called the Inland Empire, which is more rural by the mountains. So I'm out there a lot, if you guys know where that's at. So if you guys ever want to fly, just shoot me a message and maybe we can meet up. Pretty cool.
All right. Brandon, appreciate you coming on and sharing us with your knowledge and, where you have been through all of this FPV goodness, because it seems like you've had a pretty interesting journey, and I'm sure you'll have some more. Although next time you're on, next time you're on, we're going to ask for EMAX stories from customer service, and we want some good ones from you.
He's like, actually say something too about that before we sign off.
Go ahead, man.
I just want to let you guys know that customer service is important to us. So And I already said it, but advantage we have is we have the USA team. So if you guys ever need help, you get to talk to us. If you need help with any service, anything like that, emax-usa.com service tab, create a ticket. You're gonna get contacted back. I would say for sure less than 24 hours. So just so you guys know, want that to be clear. We'll always be here for you guys.
Pretty cool. Hey, U.S. customer support. That's very rare nowadays for large companies. It's
I honestly, I might be speaking out of turn, but I don't know of another manufacturer. To be honest, I honestly
it's
don't
tough.
know one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
it
tough.
is. It is.
Dun, dun, dun. Don't worry, Elvin's available for Heli Direct customer service. Contact Elvin. I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
what's his phone number, by the way? We should put that out there.
I give all the time, man. I do what I can to support the community.
This
You know,
time,
I do my thing.
this
So.
time, don't think I don't see that pulse hat in the background that you're trying to get in there.
Look at that! Look at that!
Out of curiosity, let's see. Let's give him a test. I see a quad right behind you. What motors are on that quad? I want to know. Yeah. Liar. Wow. Look at that. I swear I did not know those were going to be red bottoms when you pulled that out. I cannot see from that far away. That's awesome. Thanks, Alvin.
No problem. That's look. I got red bottoms on this. Where's the other one? Oh, the two Armatons in there. They got on red bottoms.
There you go.
Don't hate me, but I honestly did not think those were going to be red bottoms because I couldn't tell from that far away.
Don't worry, he has like a bajillion motors. You're right.
It's over, man. I got what happened was last year, early in the year, I had one set of red bottoms, and I was struggling trying to keep them, keep everything running at the time, and one of my kids said, "Dad, you don't you always tell people they're supposed to have the same two ships?" Yeah. And she's like, "Happy birthday, Dad," and bought me a set of motors, So I was like, "Oh, damn," the kid sees that. So anyway, I'm on 4 sets of red bottoms right now. I got 2300 sets and 2600 sets, and
Nice.
I like what I got. I'm not complaining. They're not the new ones. They're not the RS, but they work, and they work well, and I have nothing to complain about.
Oh, one last question. The white ones, that's a limited edition, right? You're not going to reproduce those, right?
No, there's some kind of confusion. So I don't know who started marketing as like, you get this in one time and once it's out, it's gone. We never marketed it like that. So if you actually get the box of the 2306, it says on there special edition. So that doesn't mean that they come and then that they go. So what we did was the first batch was all white. Then we had a batch of black motors. The demand, everyone was sold out of the white. We're not going to tell someone who needs one new motor, go buy a black. So they're like, of course, we got to put out more white. So we kind of do it as far as the demand goes. So if white's already out there, we go back, okay, let's do some black. If everyone's like, we need more white, then we put some white out. It really depends on what everyone needs at the time. But yeah, we wouldn't do that to you guys. Just put out a motor. You love the white, but you can't get it anymore. That would suck. So definitely not limited edition.
Okay, so there we go. I just learned something new at the end of the podcast. The white motors, you will eventually be able to get more of those. It's just there's going to be a production run on them, and then eventually they'll be available again.
They already are. We've already gotten 2 or 3 batches of the white. That's how much people want them, though. Like, I won't give exact numbers, but a lot.
Yeah, I know that they've been flying off the shelves, which is, white is a good color because these things get hot. We're a summer sport, black doesn't really help things. So I kind of like the white style. It helps with the heat, or one of the components of heat. Anyways, pretty cool.
Yep.
Alrighty, we're going to sign off. Brandon, so thank you very much for coming on, sharing your knowledge, and then, just chilling and telling some funny stories. But if you do come on, I expect EMAX stories, really, really bad ones that'll get you in trouble. I'm kidding.
Maybe. But thanks for having me on, guys. It was a lot of fun, funner than I thought it was going to be. I was like, I don't know these guys. I'm just kidding. But it was a lot of fun. Thanks for having me on. I look forward to listening to my voice.
Yeah.
And
Next
how
time-
I sound on my next car
time
drive
we'll
home.
maybe we'll do something and you will make the little young fella jump for a seat or something.
Who's the young fella? Yeah, a lot of people get surprised when I say I'm 21. You know what I mean?
Hey,
Yeah.
you're still in college, right?
He's like 12.
I thought about it.
All right, we're
FPV
cutting
stories.
out before
Your
Elvin.
voice just changed.
Yeah, before
Just
Elvin gets me in
Hey,
trouble
guys,
or
yeah.
I get myself in trouble. Signing off.
Okay.
Thank you for once again tuning into the FPV podcast. We know you enjoy the content of the podcast and that will never change. But we would like to grow and expand our community and provide even more support. With your help, we can do just that. Please go to www.patreon.com/FPV podcast and become a patron of the show for as little as $1 a month. With your support, we can make the FPV community even stronger. Thank you.